Hello and welcome to Spaced Out. I'm Sarah Begum and today I have a really exciting guest for you. So we met in Ghana when I was an investigative journalist. I was on my lunch break and I was bored out my brains trying to figure out a problem, one of many problems I had out there. And then in comes this guy, he's buying some food, he's in front of me in the queue, and I had this voice saying to me that I needed to speak to him. So I did. We both discovered that we were from London and we had a lot in common, so we stayed friends. And then I discovered this man back there, known as Eric Ho, was a self-made millionaire at the age of 24. He was an international public speaker and he taught business acumen to people around the world. Just a few years ago, he set out on a journey to walk the mystical path of spiritual mastery. It took him through the Himalayan mountains and literally through other dimensions. Now, he's known as Master Sri Akarshana, and he transforms people's lives around the world, spreading the message of love and consciousness. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm really interested about your experience in astral travel and its relation to space exploration, because I believe it's connected. And my journey began through meditation when I started seeing space before I even stepped into the space industry. So I brought you on here to understand and help us understand how it's all related. So how can you even start to astral travel?
Astral traveling is how we take our energies, which we all know we are. This is nothing so out there, it's science. And how we take our energies and bring it more out of body so that it's not so consumed by the daily functions of it. Let's say, for example, when we eat a lot, we can get food coma, and the reason why is because it's using up the energy. So that's why also things like fasting practices in spirituality is very powerful, because when the energy is not used there, then we can transform or transmute that energy. We can move it up and then out. Physical body or even physical reality is always limited, in the sense that we could not jump out the window and say, I'll be safe, because gravity will pull us down and it will be fatal. But in energy, as an energy source, which we are, in energy only, without physical, we are infinite. It's like if you close your eyes and you visualize that you are floating in the galaxy.
Yeah. I do that all the time, by the way.
So that's a meditation we actually do.
Oh, wow.
When we do that, then comes the question, is that person actually there or not? Well, you cannot deny that the person is actually there, because what I can deny is that your physical is here, but you are not limited to your physical. Physical is only a small part of us.
So what does that mean? So if I'm not limited to my physical, what else of me is there, and where is it?
It's everywhere. So it's oneness. All energy is connected. Everything is oneness. So energy is connected. We are not separate to everything that is outside. We cannot be. Even our breathing apparatus is hanging outside on the tree.
Our breathing apparatus?
Yeah, we would say it's our lungs. We say, okay, that's capable of keeping us alive. No, it's not, because without the tree outside, you'll be finished.
Okay, that's true.
So if we look at it like that, so we can say, what is our breathing apparatus? We can say it's our lungs, but actually it's the trees also. So is the tree a part of your life? It very much is part of your life. Without it, we would be dead. If sun didn't rise today, we'd all be dead as well. If any of these things,
that's interesting.
yeah, it was not there, existence would cease.
Okay, so if we were trying to colonize Mars, Do you think we'd need to have trees there for us to survive, for us to breathe? Scientists are creating artificial gravity so that we can actually survive and inhabit Mars. Do you think that we won't survive without trees on Mars?
Unless we find something else that produces the oxygen
the artificial
for us. Yes.
Gravity and the artificial oxygen.
That's right.
Okay, that's interesting. Amazing. How do you even start to astral travel? How can one even have this experience?
I think that when it comes to astral traveling, it is saying that the majority of your energy is outside of physical. And an easy way to explain it, and this is what we were saying yesterday in conversation, was somebody can come up to you and you can be daydreaming and they can say, Sarah, 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 Sarah. You don't hear a thing until a few moments later you say, sorry, what were you saying? So how could you be physically here and not know or hear what's right next to you or see what's right in front of you? And that is because you are not all here.
Oh God, so I did astral travel in the ayahuasca experience.
Yeah, when we are outside, then we are already traveling. We're traveling somewhere else. And you can't deny that our energy has actually gone because people can make noises and you can't hear it. So our energy is actually gone.
Yeah.
And so we've had those experiences before, but it depends how much, and what I always speak about is energy distribution. So let's say, for example, a person who meditates, because that's how we go into astral traveling, through meditation. A person who meditates, on a good day, they can be feeling all the peace and bliss. On a not so optimal day, they will be, okay, I feel the bliss, but there's this noise. I mean, they're too noisy here, right? And why am I keep thinking these things? And why is it so cold? And so they're feeling everything here. On those levels, you will say energy distribution could be like you're 10% there and 90% here.
Yeah.
When you have a good day, you're probably 60% there, 40% here. In fact, you can never be 100% out there. If you were 100% out there, the body would finish actually, because it still needs to keep itself warm. When we're doing astral traveling, body gets cold, just like when the spirit leaves the body at the end as well. That's why dead bodies also go cold.
I'm always cold.
So maybe you're very much out there.
I'm very much spaced out.
Yeah. So a lot of you is out there. So that is the goal. The goal is to silence the mind. We always say the mind is the gateway, because if we have a skeptical mind and it's thinking too much, it's thinking in the physical mind. So it's keeping our energy here. So mind needs to be fully calm. Most of our energy sources here, if you look at whether it's Tai Chi, Qigong, whether it's yoga, whatever breathwork, everything talks about this energy center. So most of our energy is here. How do we open up and activate that energy, transmute it, bring it up? Third eye is the gateway. We come out of third eye and then we've experienced. So a lot of the time when we do these practices with our students, we get them lying down, and then they do the practices beforehand, prepare the body. They bring the energy up, out, and then what happens is they experience looking over their own body and seeing yourself lying there. Some people get freaked out at this moment because they're like, what is going on? And then we take them on a travel experience. So we say, okay, let's go. So we go up, 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 up. And the how to get from one dimension to any other dimension will be through space. So this is very relevant to our topic today.
Very interesting. Wow. Where do you go? Because we spoke about this morning, the concept of time and space, and it not being linear, and it not being up or down, because when I look at the planets, they're spread out. They're on the same level, but they're in different parts. You know, you've got Earth and Mars and the Sun, and then you've got another solar system, and then you've got Sirius over there. So everything's scientifically on the same sort of level. There's gravity keeping everything together. But spiritually, the astral plane, the astral travel experience, how do you explore space when you're astral traveling?
It's very much like on planet Earth, how you explore. It's the same concept. So if you didn't have a map, you couldn't explore. So, meaning you need to know, if I go that direction, what am I going to see? Where am I going? So that needs to be there. Second thing is, you need to have desire. Meaning, where is it? Because it's so vast, there's everywhere. Even in planet Earth alone, if you say go traveling, if you had the infinite ability to travel anywhere you want on this planet, already in one lifetime you cannot visit it all, never mind out in space. So you need to know the desire, what is it that you want to see,
Yeah.
where do you want to go. The next thing is whether you have the capacity to do so. So whether that be in this physical reality, we call it financial ability.
Yeah.
Right? In astral traveling, it's not. In astral traveling, what you require is the body, the vessel, to allow yourself to move. So that's almost like preparing your own plane, your private jet to fly wherever you want.
Wow.
So this is our plane. How do we move out of it? This is like the airport. So we move out. So that needs to be there. And the final thing is permission. So like right now, while lockdown, you can't go to a lot of countries, or even some countries you want to go to, you need to get a visa first.
Yeah.
So because every space, every place will always have a governing body, that energy that protects that place. Yeah. So everything is the same as this, but the way you do it is slightly different. That's all. Yeah.
That's really interesting.
So back to your question of where do you go? Well, anywhere.
Where have you been? Where was the most bizarre place you've ever been to in your astral travel experiences so far?
We travel every day, so...
You travel every day?
Of course, so... Well, if you have that freedom, you wouldn't do so, you would do the same, There's so much to explore. Beyond exploration is purpose, though. So you can only, let's say, for example, if anybody goes traveling the world, okay, I'm going to travel the world. Everybody has that dream and goal. Once they start traveling the world for 1-2 years, they'll be thinking, I think I need to do something else with my life.
Yeah.
It needs a bit of sense of purpose. And so actually what we do in astral traveling, for the newbies, they'll be like, wow, I can see everything. I can go to space. I can go past life. I can go future life. I can move into future, past everything. I can go different places. I can go in some other place with other types of beings. So they can go anywhere. And then after some time, it's kind of like, well, it's so vast, so much traveling, and I'm actually a little bit tired of traveling. And what is the purpose behind this? Then they will need a sense of purpose. So in every different dimension, there's a role, there's a job, there's a purpose, just like a purpose in life here, So I think that will always come to the second question. Of what is our purpose.
Okay, so when you travel, before you even travel, not only do you need to have the right preparation and the permission, but you also have to have a destination in mind. So like a target where you want to go. It's like your ticket. You have to book a ticket, but you have to know where you're booking your ticket to.
So that's why you need to be able to see the map first.
Yeah.
If you don't see the map, you can't go anywhere you don't know of. Same thing in this world. You will never travel to somewhere you don't know.
So what if
You need to know first.
What if I had a map of the stars, of all the constellations, and I wanted to go to, my favorite constellation is Orion's Belt.
Okay.
What if I wanted a one-way ticket to Sirius, maybe a return ticket to Sirius?
Return is better, yes.
What if I wanted to go to Sirius and come back? Is that possible?
It's possible, of course. So energy can go anywhere, it's infinite. But like I said, the things that are prepared, that I said just before, needs to be prepared.
Okay.
You need the tour guide. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So in our lineage or our practices, our tour guide we class as our master is the person who, because they've been there, so they can say, hey, by the way, this place is not safe. This is the ghetto. You get what I'm saying? So you got to stay away from that part because it's dangerous. So this spirituality, what my master always says is, spirituality should not really be for people to just say, okay, I'm just going to go and explore like that. It's almost like you take a child and just say, yeah, just go out there, and it doesn't matter where you go, just figure it out. It can be a dangerous place.
Yeah.
There's good, there's bad. So
yeah.
we always say, if you're going through spirituality, which is a science, and now this is nice we're having this conversation because it's linking the two. Space exploration, you have to go with somebody who knows what's happening in these places, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that must be done.
Okay, so one of my questions was, can it be dangerous?
Of course.
In what ways can it be dangerous?
In infinite ways beyond what you can even think of. Why? Because anything that you can think of will only be the danger that you've heard of or experienced or seen in planet Earth. Multiply that by infinite ways of torture, killing, whatever.
Oh my God.
There's ways and things you've never even seen before. So there's too many. It's infinite.
Oh, wow.
It depends where you're going.
How do you think such experiences could expand the consciousness of people working within the space industry? And why do you think this is important?
Right now, we are so much bridging this gap, actually, between science and spirituality. Because everything is one, everything is together. Between the material world, the physical world, and the metaphysical world. We're starting to bridge this gap. And I think both is required to work with each other so much. Why? You take a extremely conscious spiritual being, they will be able to connect with the existence that is outside. With that connection, we must build something that is physical to be able to bridge the gap. So it's okay. Let's say, for example, if right now I sit here and I'm meditating and I go traveling and then I see, wow, there's this beautiful place and it's perfect for, it's a perfect environment and it's possible for humans to actually live there. Yeah. And because of all the things that is happening in this world, right, it can work. But I don't have the physical qualifications to build the spaceship right now. But I can see that. So if we can work with people in that space, then we can guide them to say, hey, this is what's actually happening there.
Yeah.
And then they have the qualifications and they have the tools, they have the engineer skills to make that thing. So that bridges the gap to actually take humans to these places.
I love that. So why do you think people aren't working together in this way?
Because I think the biggest problem is that people don't see spirituality as science.
But it is science, it's connected.
It is, well, you know that.
I know
but a lot of people see it different. A lot of people see spirituality as religion. A lot of people see spirituality as these people have just gone a little bit, you know, cuckoo, you know, something wrong with mind. You know? The reason why they have that is because when a human being speaks something that they've never heard of before, they will always deem us it's crazy.
Yeah.
Until they've personally did the experiment and then figured it out, the science behind it, then they come to believe it. So that will take some time.
Okay, so why don't you do this for us in a very short sentence or brief explanation? Can you explain these astral travel experiences, but not just that, your spiritual experiences in relation to understanding humanity and the universe as it is, and why it's important? But can you explain it scientifically? So explain your spiritual experiences scientifically, or explain astral traveling scientifically, and then tell us why it's important.
Science says energy is everything, everything is energy. What are we? Energy. What is thought? Energy. What is visual? Energy. What is imagination? Energy. We've all had a dream before where we have a dream and we have it and it seems so real that even when we open our eyes, we still question, did it actually happen? Because it actually felt
like
real.
The action figure chasing me last night. Yeah. I was like, what is this?
So we've been in those moments before where our energy is so much in different dimension, whether we call it sleep dimension or whatever dimension, it's been so much in there before. Everything, and also this is science as well, oneness is science. Oneness is a science. All energy is linked, is connected. That is also a science. So what is the what is the gap between me or you, or me and you, between us and anything that's happening out in space? Actually, we're very connected. Except physical, like I said before, is the only limitation. It will always be limited. If we say, let's go Bahamas now, physically, we need to do so much. If I say, close your eyes, let's go Bahamas now, we could go, may take us a bit of time to get into that complete moment of being there and sipping that pina colada and enjoying that sun. But after a while, if we go so much in imagination, what does it change? It changes, we feel it. We feel the emotions, we feel everything, we feel happier, we feel everything. So question is, were you really there? Well, somebody can say, well, your body was not there. But body is not the only thing. Why? Science says energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. What happens when we die? Well, we are energy. What does the energy do? The energy dies. Energy can never die. It can only transfer. So where is it moving? Somewhere else. It's always traveling. Everything is always traveling.
So interesting. Gosh. What was your first experience like of astral traveling?
I wouldn't refer to it as astral traveling at that time. Astral traveling is just a term that a group of people formed and everybody calls it that. In our practices, it was when I went on the third day of my pilgrimage in Himalayas, the initiation, and my master told me to sit there, and he told me there was a few exercises we did to practice opening up the gateway at third eye. So we did such practices and physical practices and breathwork practices. And then he asked me to sit there, and he said, can you see the light? At that time, now I refer to as the portal, because I know that it's the portal to go anywhere. A bit like in Doctor Strange, where you open up. So now that light I refer to as portal, because that is what it does. So he said, can you see the light? And my skeptical mind was saying, if imagining the light is the light, I guess I can see it, you know? So that's what I said to him. And then he said, what about now? And then it was like a tunnel, a white tunnel, and I was going extremely, extremely fast through that tunnel. Very fast, never felt that. You feel it's like a roller coaster. Wow. Like the energy's moving so fast, and then wow, going, and then suddenly all these different things you're seeing past, you're seeing future, you're seeing different situations, scenarios, you're hearing different voices and sounds and emotions and blissful and everything. So you feel everything in that moment. And then I got so humanly freaked out by that journey that in those split seconds that seemed like 10 minutes, but it was split seconds, he said, can you see it? And then after that travel, for a few split seconds, I came back, I said, I seen it. And then what happened is, because when I came back, it kicked in that, wait there a second. No. Did I fall asleep? Was I dreaming? What was happening? So I looked at my master, who was sat maybe a few meters away, and I was thinking, what was that light? No. Skeptical mind kicked in again, human mind, which was, he must have a torch behind him or something, or where's the window? Was a sunlight shine? So where did that light come from? So all this skepticism was going through my mind, and I said to him, I seen the light. And I said, it was very fast. And he said, yes. He said, but this time it was me opening it up for you. Next time, you need to be able to do it yourself.
Oh my God.
And I was like, that is really, really crazy. Like, really crazy. It's almost like somebody saying, hey, are you traveling yet? You're saying no. Oh, is the gate open yet? You say no. It's like somebody opens the gate for you. Can you see it now? You're like, whoa, it's crazy. And then it's so crazy that you get so freaked out. You're like, no, wait, I need to go back. So you go back to human. Like, that was the first experience, and it was only a few seconds.
That sounds exactly identical to my ayahuasca experience. The tunnel of light, so fast, so strong, but it went up, took me to space. And it was so quick, and I freaked out when I came back to the human body. I woke up and I just wanted to grab my phone and plan my rescue. So I want to get out of it. I don't want to see anything anymore.
As that was day 3 of the initiation.
Wow.
After day 3 of the initiation, what Grandmaster felt and realized was that my vehicle or my mind, my spirit, was not strong enough yet. That's why I would get freaked out by such things.
Yeah.
So the remainder of those 20 plus days was non-stop practicing in dimension practices and moving out to different places and building strength in spirit, so that when I encounter those weird experiences, I would know how to deal with those experiences. And I remember one of the first tests he gave me, because we were doing a lot of physical training, and I said, why are we doing so much physical training and all this like push-ups and handstands and for long amounts of time, like what you call military yoga.
Oh, yeah.
So we were doing
that stuff killed me.
So we were doing that. And then I asked him one day, I said, what's this got to do with spirituality? And he said, when you strengthen the body, your mind strengthens, but your spirit also strengthens. And I said, but how does that work? He said, you will know, it will happen. And I said, so why are we strengthening it though? I feel I'm strong, I'm not fearing anything. He said, here you're not. He said, but outside? He asked me a question. He said, if Cobra comes in front of you, what do you do? And I said, Cobra? I said, what do you mean Cobra? He said, in different dimension. He said, you're gonna see? I said, I'm gonna see Cobra? He said, that'll be at the beginning. Later on, you'll see different things.
What?
He said, big things.
Big what?
And so at that time, I had this huge curiosity I didn't know. But because we were doing deep dive meditation, I'm talking not the meditation most people are doing, affirmations and pretending to be a tree and things like that. Not relaxing and lights moving through their body. Not that. Seeker's meditation is going outside dimension, and then basically what we're talking about, space exploration, basically. And so as the days continued and we started to encounter things like cobras and things like eagles the size beyond human beings, like you talking about like dinosaur. And so when we start to experience these, then I started to feel, wow, that's what we need to train for, because it's too scary out there, too much.
Oh wow. Can astral traveling help you see the future? Or these spiritual practices, can they help you see the future?
Yes.
They can?
Yes.
And you said before in a conversation they can help you see the past as well.
Yes.
And multiple, because I've always been fascinated by the quantum realm and, possibilities and all the different timelines. I think I wrote a post about this the other day, but you mentioned that it's very much related and that there are different possibilities or infinite possibilities. So can you tell me more about that?
Well, I think even the last time we met, which was a couple of years ago, I was already telling you that everything's about to go down in this world, and we call it, in spirituality, maybe like some people call it dark age, and all the crisis and everything. That's because when I went on that pilgrimage and the initiation, I was able to see the future and all the problems that were just about to come. This was before 2020, and then 2020 kicked off and everything happened. And so that is because of exactly the same thing. You see, this is the part that will link as well with science and spirituality. When we talk a lot about spirituality, we talk about past life and we talk about future life. Actually, in science, we already know, even in space, when we are here and when we go somewhere else in space, then time works very differently. You can age, you can age 50 years in a few moments from here, So that's how that works. Why does that happen? Is because time is not linear. And so there isn't a past, there isn't a future. It's just everything is parallel. It's just a different dimension of existence. And so when we go out of body, and we can move into what you refer to as space. We just refer to as outer dimensions. If we decide that, okay, today I'm going to go into future space, okay, so I'm going to some place in a different timeline, then I get to see what our existence in different reality, you know. If I decide that I'm going to go in past, then I will be able to also see us in past, who we are, what we're doing, and we'll be able to be there, live there, you know. And so everything is like that. Everything is in existence. All these different timelines are out there as well.
So can you see the future of humanity in space in another timeline? You can?
Of course, yes.
Okay, so this is amazing. I want to know, because the last time I did see you was late 2019, and you said to me a bunch of things. You said the world's going to change, you're not going to be doing what you're doing anymore, and I was really stubborn at the time, and I didn't want to believe you, and I got annoyed. It's like, why is he saying all this stuff to me? I don't want to hear this. I really enjoy my adventures around the world, and then boom, the pandemic happened, and everything changed, and now I'm in space. Well, not yet, but I love it. I love learning about space. But the thing is, you predicted this.
Prediction is a guess.
Okay, so you knew this.
You see? Yeah. So there are a lot of things on the internet is saying Master Sri Akarshana predicted that. I didn't predict anything. This is because it's there. You accessed
this timeline and this information. That's probably the best word to describe it. So you accessed this portal, and you accessed the reality in this portal, or the potential timelines in that portal, and you were able to know what was going to happen in the near future, because what you mentioned to me earlier today was fascinating. I just imagine like an onion, you know, like there's rings of reality. When you say dimension, I think of circles. So this is like Earth, and then, but on Earth there's like different circles, different ways Earth can be, you know, entangled. And then you mentioned there's another level. So I want to ask you two questions, because that just sparked up the question of this life being like a game, you know, before you can access another level, which is connected to both humanity's efforts to get to space, but not only that, it's also connected to our ability to elevate and transcend through astral traveling. And so many other things, like when you clock a level, when you master something, there's something else for you to learn. And that process, as you know already, is limitless, it's infinite. So what can you tell me? Something fun. What can you tell us? What can you tell all of us about the future to prepare us for what could happen soon in this dimension?
Before I get into that, I can share a few things, but not all. Not everything can be shared, because you can get the visa, you can get the passport to access these, but there are rules to it.
Okay.
You see? So we cannot get the passport and come and you see, tell people, hey, by the way, you're going to die tomorrow, or you know.
No, of course, you've got to have responsibility.
So because those then permissions will be taken from you. You see, so I need to keep my visa and I need to keep my passport. So there's certain things that can be said. But one thing that and this is very much so my purpose in this physical reality, and why they keep sending me back to do this work is. Number one, what's coming very, very shortly is the economic crash. So that will be a big crisis that will happen. And this economic crash is bigger than anything that has ever, even the greatest depression so far in this world, that is there. So that is about to happen soon. So now people to become more financially smart and build up some capital will be very good, because then they can leverage and accumulate a lot through that time. So they can use it as opportunity. Secondly is that people have been talking a lot about war breaking out. War with this country, that country, everything like that. But people do not understand that war has already broken out, which is in a sense that if we look back in time, what war would look like is you would get dressed up and you would go out with your guns and you'll shoot each other, you know, that's how war is. We've advanced. We're in 2021 now and technology has advanced. The way we do war is very different, whether it's using 5G, whether it's using viruses. Imagine this, like, imagine if we have become so much smarter. If I want to fight another country, I can either send my troops out there to all die and try to fight for our country, or I could send an invisible enemy known as a virus. I could send an invisible enemy out there and they won't even know where we're coming from and they will be killing. You see, so war has already broke out, and this message for people not to be scared of it, but to take precaution on seeing where we can build on right now for ourselves. Number one, I say everybody must build on their health, because it's showing that to win this war that we're coming in right now, a strong immune system, you'll be fine. Yeah. Second thing is wealth. The people who are not very wealthy or hasn't been very good with finances will be the ones who are really struggling right now. So get smart with that. The third thing is come to get, because mental scare is happening. The third thing is be mentally strong. So practices of self-love, not feeling lonely, depressed and things like that with yourself. So these things are very important, mental practice as well. So these three things are the main things that are happening right now. And we still have a couple of years in this.
Oh my God, wow. So I just had a bunch of realizations and questions leading up from that, because you talk about dimension traveling and you talk about there's an invisible war happening and it could be in the form of anything. And you're already exploring space in so many different unique ways. I want to know what you think about aliens. Are they real, or how do you view them? What are your perceptions on aliens?
Maybe if I ask you, what is meant by alien? Alien, probably what people refer to as alien, is non-human. Something that we've never seen before. Something strange. If eyes pop out this way, 3 eyes this way, then it can be alien.
Like in the movies.
If one eye, no eye, whatever, could be alien.
Yeah.
If just anything that looks abstract to us is alien. So is that in existence? Of course, because it's of course there's everything is in existence. So you see, the movies cannot depict something that is not already in existence. We need to understand that, or whether it's Avatar, Doctor Strange, Inception, all these things, they're all real. Where does a director come up with ideas from? I don't know, I was just sleeping one day and I just had this dream and it just made me... How many songs were written like that? How many movies were written like that? There's so many movies written like that. They said, I just had this dream about something and I got some ideas and I was writing it down. Well, how did they get it from dream? Because when they were in dream, they were not in this dimension. That's why someone walks into your room, you don't hear anything, because your energy is not in this dimension. So where is it? What do humans say? Humans say, they're dreaming. But what does that mean? They're asleep. Yeah, but where is the energy when somebody's asleep? Nobody addresses this, you see? So it must be, if it's not here, it must be somewhere else. And so when they're in different dimension, what they're doing? They are seeing. They're seeing aliens. Yeah. They're seeing all these things. Of course they don't remember, because this is the same thing. This is permission, you see?
Yeah.
So your visa or your passport, when you go back, these are the rules. Okay. There's a press delete button, erase, you come back.
Like Men in Black.
It's all real. So you see, they get these ideas, then they come back, then they say, oh my God, I had this weird, idea for a movie. I think it'll be really good. Where did you get that from? It just came from nowhere. Energy cannot be created nor destroyed. It can only be transferred. It's download. It comes from a different dimension that you experienced, you see? So it's like that. While we speak about, you say, Men in Black, if you look at, you have a dream, you're sleeping, you have a dream, and it was an extremely exciting dream. Maybe you decide when you open your eyes, oh my God, that was so exciting, you want to tell your partner or something. In the midst of, oh my God, I had a... Gone. 2, 3, gone. How is that possible? Yeah. So, by the way, science will never, if they are trying to prove that point right now, they will never be able to prove that. Why? Because it's not within human science. By the way, human science exploration is very different to that outer world that is science. Because it's very limited. The mind is very limited. Why? Look, do you know how memory works?
Well, yes and no.
So some people say some people say I have bad memory.
Yeah.
But actually nobody has bad memory. If you take, next time somebody said, oh my God, my memory's so bad, right? Ask them, hey, do you remember anything from childhood? They'll say, yeah, when I was 5, this happened. So how do you prove that your memory is bad? Your memory is not bad. Nobody's memory is bad. But people who say their memory is bad, they don't know how to use their memory. Memory, on the stem of the brain, we have what? You have amygdala and you have hippocampus. Amygdala is in charge of emotions. Hippocampus is in charge of short and long-term memory. That is how memory is formed, through emotions. What does that mean? If you say you have bad memory, you remember everything that you were really enjoying in life and really heartbroken, really sad. These are the moments you remember most. Now let's put it into perspective now. You just had a dream. It was extremely exciting. Human memory must remember that thing. 2, 3. So who wipes the memory?
Who does? Who's in charge of this?
So
this gateway?
It's a different authority through that gateway. When you come through the portal, that thing needs to be done for you to come back. Almost like a vaccine. It needs to be done so that you can come back. Why? Because if everybody knew everything that was outside, actually humans will all go cuckoo. They will all be... this system will be broken. You see, nobody would go to work every day. They'll be all just, I don't need to do this anymore. System would be broken. So it's not a bad thing. This control is not a bad thing. It's like if we say in physical reality, we have police, we have government. They control. That's what they do. They control, right? They're controlling. But is it bad? Well, without it, there'll be a lot of chaos. You see? So control is not always bad.
It's almost like a space force, an invisible space force.
Like that, exactly like that.
Okay, wow, that's interesting. What level of permission do you have?
With levels of permission, they are infinite again.
Wow.
That's like me. So that's like me saying, hey, which countries in this world can you enter into? What visas do you have? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you'd be like, well, I don't even know where to start. You see, where would you start? I don't know. There's a list of a lot of countries.
Okay, so why do you think you've been given this permission, and how are you supposed to use it to elevate humanity?
In this physical reality is wealth consciousness, love, positivity, unity. This, for me, in my small version of my purpose, that is what I need to do here. That's all. Yeah. My masters are way beyond in what they can see and in their roles and what they need to do. So they have much more permissions, much more visas, much more passports, much more gateways, because their purpose is even bigger vision than that.
You're literally exploring the cosmos spiritually, and humanity here is trying to figure out how to get to the cosmos and then populate it and become an interplanetary species. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to figure that out and then make it happen. So have you come across anything where those 2 points meet in any of these dimensions?
But this is the time. Why are we having this conversation right now?
Because spirituality meets space.
Why did we meet in Ghana? Just so that 2 human beings can just, let's have dinner sometime. You think everything is so accurately prepared. It gets to this moment right now. Where would this video go to? What is your mission for this? When you take this out there, you see, We are all just small vehicles, all working together to make the whole thing come together. So when you say, have we experienced this thing? We are experiencing right now. We are experiencing right now this thing. We're coming together. It's coming together. And from this moment, what will happen? You will take this out there. This video, this information will get out there. What will happen? People in space industry will start coming together. So, you see, we didn't plan to have this. It wasn't like we said, okay, Sarah, come and let's do this interview so we can put this information out there.
No, I didn't plan this.
This was literally last moment, and it was said, okay, let's do this. But why? But actually, this was always planned. In outer dimension, it was always planned. When I see the future of where this message goes and every connecting dot to how it saves humanity in future, this is one of the establishing points that is very crucial that we are having this interview right now, you see.
So what can people do upon receiving this message from you?
Most people will do nothing. Most people will be looking at it and say, that was an interesting interview. Most people will do nothing. But the very few people who have those connections and are listening and this is making sense to them, they are going to be the ones who then take this information. And it's most likely that we will be brought back into those conversations in the near future. And we'll be sat different with over a meeting table. It could be with Elon Musk, it could be with SpaceX, we could be with all these. It could be with Richard Branson and Virgin Galactic.
You actually met Richard Branson.
That's right, yeah. So we will be brought back into this space because then, at the right time, this information will be required for them to then develop the right tools to save humanity.
The strategy, the plan, the blueprint. Wow, I'm flooding with so many different types of emotions and thoughts, and I'm so grateful. And yeah, is there any last message you'd like to share with everyone?
I think last message is this. I think to understand that as a human being, while there's so much going on around the world, we cannot think we are too small to make this difference. If we all really came together in love, in positivity, and consciousness, in being solution focused, and we say, hey, let's all work together. It's not my work, it's not your work. Let's come together. It doesn't matter who wins, because at the end of the day, we win together. I think people should come together with that thought and understand that you were really not put on this planet just to work a 9 till 5 and then hopefully retire early and then die straight after that. You see, there has to be more. There has to be more to life. And so allow themselves to, mind and heart is open, just to follow the heart. It's just like what you're doing. Some things are non-logical. It's like, why am I going to US? What am I doing? Non-logical, but you feel it, you do it. Follow your heart, take action.
I've been living that way most of my life, just going with feelings. But what if that can be dangerous?
Have the right group of people around you.
Okay.
So have guidance, have the right group of people around you. So that will help prevent any danger.
That's when you need a spiritual guide or a master. Okay, thank you so much for this. Appreciate it so much. And how can people follow you or stay in touch?
They can find my work everywhere on YouTube and Instagram, everywhere.
What's your handle?
Master Sri Akarshana, they'll be able to find.
Amazing, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.